Welcome to Farside Farm Campsite. This is where I'm going to be staying tonight, but first I'm going to do something else, so keep watching. Lovely.
Hey everyone, I hope you're all well and welcome back to another adventure with me and Jeff the camper van. Today I'm heading out to a beautiful location with sea views from the campsite and I cannot wait. Stay tuned for the campsite tour, Colin answers your questions and much more. Before I hand you over to me, if you like this kind of content, it would be awesome if you could support us by clicking that subscribe button. It really helps us keep making videos like this without sponsorship interruptions. Arriving at the pay and display car park at Robin Hood's Bay, I paid the parking fee and headed down the steep hill to explore the delights of this little village. Robin Hood's Bay lies in the ancient parish of Fylingdales on the east coast of Yorkshire, and despite its name, there is no link between the mythical legend Robin Hood and the village. The name Robin Hood was quite often the name given to petty thieves back in the day. The village, which consists of a maze of tiny streets and now cafes, shops and pubs, has a tradition of smuggling. And there's said to be a network of subterranean passageways linking all the houses so that the contraband could be hidden within the village easily and undetected. Tea, gin, rum, brandy and tobacco were among the items smuggled into Yorkshire from the Netherlands and France to avoid duty. The main legitimate activity had always been fishing, but this started to decline in the late 19th century. These days, most of its income comes from tourism. I can't mention Robin Hood's Bay without mentioning Dracula either. Bram Stoker wrote a novel back in 1897 and it has scenes from it that are set in Robin Hood's Bay. This village truly is a place worth visiting. It's steeped in history and every little corner that you take leads you down another tiny street to explore. After a little walk through the village, it was time to head down to the beach, check out some rock pools and see if the tide was coming in or going out, as that would help my decision as to whether I was to walk along the beach or not.
I've come to the Costa del Robin Hood's Bay. Looks beautiful in the sunshine, but mainly it rains. I was going to have a walk over to Boggle Hole, but I'm not sure whether the tide's coming in or out, so I'm not going to risk it. I think it's actually coming in. Looking at where I were going to go is now, you probably can't see it on here, it's now covered in water. It's always best to just double check the tide times before you go for a long walk along the beach. And this is my first piece to camera because Robin Hood's Bay is absolutely Ramo. I genuinely thought I'd get this place to myself. No chance. It's like a weekend. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the campsite that we're staying at later, and there'll be a campsite tour coming up, will be a bit quieter than Robin Hood's Bay. But I think for now what I'm going to do is have a wander around, try and get some photographs. I'll show you those later if I've got any nice ones. And then I reckon grab a chip butty. Yeah? Whatever you want to call them, in wherever you are in the UK, put it in the comment section below. I call it a chip butty, some people call it a chip barn, some people call it other things, but everybody else is wrong. It's a chip butty. So I've just been sat on these rocks. It's really nice, it's lovely, with a view of the sea, lovely jovely. But I'm glad I came back from those rocks because they're almost fully submerged now. So yeah, the tide's coming in. Right, now I'm off to go get some photographs. Awesome.
I spent a few hours roaming the streets, taking photographs, I'll show you these a little later, and then headed up to get a chip butty.
So that's the chip butty done at the top of the hill, so you've got to earn it before you can have it. And I think I'll head back to the van now, and the sun's come out. Perfect. Oh, right then, let's head off to the campsite. Can't wait to get there, all chilled out. Crack open a beer. Oh, nice.
The drive took about 5 minutes as the campsite was a lot closer to Robin Hood's Bay than I'd thought, but I'll show you how close it was in a few minutes, show you the campsite and the images I took that day. On the way in, there's a sign on the gate post with a telephone number you have to call when you arrive. Once you've spoken to the owner, it's just a case of driving around trying to find the perfect pitch. Easier said than done when you can park anywhere.
So I have arrived, and this is basically just a massive field on a working farm with a sea view, and it's lovely. Very simple campsite, and I can't wait to get set up. So let's do this. See you, bye. I know I'll get asked. It's from the Outdoor Matting Company. They don't do these anymore. So while I chill out for a bit and finish the rest of my water, I'm going to show you the pictures that I took today at Robin Hood's Bay. You let me know down in the comment section which one you think's your favourite. Okay, enjoy. So from the campsite, I've just come for a wander down these little paths, and it's brought me pretty much to Robin Hood's Bay. How ace is that? Proper ace. I reckon another 10 minutes I'll be down there supping a pint. I'm not doing that this time, but if you came and stayed at this campsite, you could do that, or even go down there and eat and then come home. But I'm guessing if you do that and you're drinking and you're eating, you're going to need a torch to get back down this path because it's not lit at all. It's going to be pitch black, but totally possible if you wanted to come down during the day and have some dinner or lunch or whatever. Also, for those familiar with the area, and if you're not, I suppose you could go there as well, there's a place called Boggle Hole that I think you can walk to in about 10 or 15 minutes as well. Totally worth it. Speaking of Boggle Hole, and I think you've got to be a certain age to remember these. When I were a kid, my mum and dad hid a boglin in Boggle Hole, and I thought that's where boglins came from. Brilliant. Oh, the things you remember as a kid, eh? So I've just been having a wander around the campsite, and although there's someone over that side setting a tent up, they are way too far away for it to be entertaining for me. So what I've done is I've made my own entertainment. And because there's nobody in these two tents that are really close to each other over there, I'm playing a game in my head. I wonder who's in that tent when they get back. You know, could it be a stag party? Could there be like 4 blokes in there all making noise and partying tonight? Could it be a young couple that have just got together but don't really want to share a tent together because farting and stuff? Who knows? As soon as they get back, I shall let you know who's in there. I'm not popping the top. There's no reason for me to. There's only me in the van, so there's no reason for it to be popped up, unless I'm sleeping in the top. But because I'm getting off tomorrow pretty early, I can't be bothered with the hassle. I'm going to another campsite tomorrow, but that's a future video for you guys. But yeah, I just thought to myself, nope, I'm going to leave it down and try and keep the van warm and toasty from the sun warming it up and stuff. Although I have got all the doors open, whatever, Cole.
It wasn't long before my tummy began to rumble and I started to make dinner. The wind was pretty bad, not mine, so even though I'm not a fan of cooking inside my van, there wasn't really a choice.
I'm making exactly the same thing that I made when I went to the Peak District because I watched that video again the other day and it made me want to have those burgers. So that's exactly what I'm having. So no beef burgers from Aldi, some halloumi and all in a burger bun with some gourmet burger relish and some mayo. Ooh. I'm proper hungry now. Nice, I'm back with the same meal. Burgers, beer, done. Oh, this isn't Aldi's finest beer though. This is Stella, but also bought from the Aldi. I had to put the dry robe on earlier. It got really chilly. Yeah, but now I'm a happy chappy. I'm going to get this smashed in and then get the fire pit going, I think. Oh. Mm. So my game has come to an end now because the people in the tent behind me have come back, and it's a mother with her daughter and son, I'm assuming, in the 2 tents. So I'm guessing she's put kids in 1 tent and she's staying in a tent on her own, and I don't blame her. But yeah, that was a fun game while it lasted.
So because I forgot to introduce the Colin Answers Your Question section, it's now time for
Colin Answers Your Questions. And the first question that I'm getting asked quite a bit is, how is your new fire pit holding up? Absolutely fine. It's brilliant. It's not misshapen. Obviously it does discolour when you're using it and stuff, and it does look dirty because it's got burning wood in it. But apart from a couple of you have mentioned that you've bought this one, and while you were tipping the coals away, you also threw away the bottom half, the bit that stops the coals from dropping through. So thanks for the heads up on that. I always take mine out, and what I actually do is I wait until it's all cooled down and burnt away, and then in the morning I let it drop through into the bottom half. I'll do B-roll while I'm talking about this. I let it drop through into the bottom half. So then all I have to do is then take basically the tray to the bin and then pour that away. But yeah, apart from that, the hinges have been fine, everything's been awesome, and I'm absolutely loving it. I would have been on to another mesh fire pit if I'd have bought one at the same time as me buying this new fire pit. So yeah, money well spent, I think. And for those that are interested, I'll put a link in the description below as to where you can buy it. #not sponsored. Lovely jubbly. And the next question that I'm getting asked quite a lot is, does your rock and roll bed rattle? Now, when I first bought it, absolutely, it was like Rattlesville, Tennessee. It was crazy. But what I did is I bought some of that draft excluder stuff that you put in your windows or around your doors, and I put that onto all the metal surfaces on the rock and roll bed, and absolutely fine now. I've had to replace a few bits where it's sort of rubbed off and things like that, and rattle started to come back, but now it's absolutely fine. So yeah, a little bit of a top tip there if you've got a rattly rock and roll bed, is to put some draft excluder stuff on all of the metal bits that join together. So then when you go over bumps, it's just a nice thud, because I hate rattles. They do my head in. And the final question that I'm getting asked quite a lot is, do you have any more DIY ideas on the van? Honestly, my list is endless. I've got so many ideas of things I want to do to the van, but obviously limited by budget. But the next DIY video, I think, or at least the next DIY idea that I've got, is to have a mess around with the drawer underneath the rock and roll bed. I said to myself, I'll buy some better MDF and I'll make a more sturdy drawer for under the bed. And then it got me thinking, and I thought, what if I have a drawer that goes, like, half of it is for covers and cushions and all the bits that we normally store in there, and then the other half opens out the back, and it's like a pull-out drawer, kitchen style thing for outdoor cookings. That's the idea. I've started mocking up a drawing, so yeah, that could be the next thing. I don't know. But yeah, there's a million and one other things that I want to do on the van. But yeah, I'm a tight Yorkshireman, so I always think to myself, no, I'm not spending that. And I think that is the end of
Colin Answers Your Questions.
Right then, I think you've waited long enough. It's now time for your campsite tour. Don't forget to stay tuned for the outtakes at the end, and I shall see you guys on the next adventure. Thanks so much for watching. See you, bye. Bye, see you, bye. Oh, wait a minute. Snaz.
Farside Farm is a basic site on a working farm just outside Robin Hood's Bay. With access to the village off-road, lots of walks nearby, this is a lovely site to visit for a few days, either solo or with the family. It has a basic but well presented and cute toilet block with a place to wash your hands, 2 toilet cubicles and a shower, which you have to pay for via an honesty box. There is a small waste area, including a bin for your ashes, 1 water tap near the toilet block, an outdoor sink for washing your pots, lots of animals to keep the children, including me, occupied, but no Elson Point that I could find. 99% of this site is pretty level too. There are a handful of hard standing pitches near the toilet block, but this site does not yet offer electric hookup. There isn't a shop on site, but this site does have a lovely view of the sea, and it's a stone's throw from the village. The cost for my stay for one night was £25, a little on the steep side compared to other sites that have more facilities, but those sites sometimes don't have the views that this one has. I like it though, and I will definitely be back to chill out at some point in the not too distant future. And I've also been asked to include whether the mobile phone reception is good. I'm on Vodafone and I had full 4G throughout my stay. I sat with a beer, my fire pit and the views until it got dark. Booked a campsite for the next day and relaxed until it was time to go to bed.
Americans in Robin Hood's Bay than there is in America right now. Right, I actually don't know what I'm saying. Cool. Check, check. 1, 2. This boils my piss. I mean, you can't get any closer to me, and there's loads of room behind, and now I can't open my rear doors to put my bag away. Frickin' schminky dinks. Ish, that'll do. Tighten that up, or it'll go floppy everywhere, won't it? Windy today, must be that frickin' chick butty. So, I have arrived. So, I am all camped up pretty much. No, I'm not camped up, am I? Oh, so that's me all set up and lovely. Awesome, maybe I'll do that again. Getting brambles. Chosen the worst place to do this ever. Oh, more brambles, wait a minute. You ba- oh, right, let's get through this bit. Speaking of boggle hole, you've got to be a certain age. Because that's like frickin' Bramble Alley, is that? There'll be more outtakes than there will be frickin' content at this rate. Oh, this is Mud Alley. Wait a minute, let's get through here first. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Speaking of boggle hole,